Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Gerard, and most of the courses that I teach, you're going to be able to need to know a little bit about some calculations in Excel. Well, at least they'll make it much easier for you to get the material and be able to do a lot of the homework problems that you probably have in your course. Whether that's accounting, financial accounting, managerial accounting, finance, or in business statistics. So in this video, we're going to talk about the difference between formulas and functions, and we'll illustrate the difference between the two and how to use functions and how to use the formulas in Excel. Alright, so here we are, and we're looking at Excel, and you'll notice now this is going to be for complete beginners. I know if some of you understand all this and you can just skip this and move forward to another video, but this is for people that just really need to get through. They need to get up to speed so they can do their Excel for their finance class or business statistics or accounting. And so we're just going to look at this. Now you'll see this whole screen up here. And we're going to look at column D. So when I click in this square here, or a cell, we're going to call this a cell, and this cell is D3, where the two intersect. And I'm going to talk about a formula. Well, what is a formula? Well, formula is like 2 plus 2, or 1 plus 1 plus 1, or 3 plus 6, or 12 divided by 3. Those are formulas. And what we want in this cell, D3, is the answer, or our formula in our head, what is it going to be equal to? So we have to start off by putting an equal sign. So what we're saying here is in cell D3, put the equals of the formula. Okay, so we're going to put 2 plus 2. Now you'll notice here, you see 2 plus 2 here, and you see 2 plus 2 up here. Now this is what they call the formula bar. Now I haven't hit enter yet, but what we're going to see in D3 is the equal of 2 plus 2. So I'm going to hit enter, and you'll see here the answer is 4. And it's given us the answer, but you'll notice up here in this formula bar, we still see this cell, D3, is equal to 2 plus 2. Now what we really want a lot of times, and so we can do this anytime we want to calculate a formula in a cell in Excel, we can just put equals and whatever it is we want. And let's do this. Say I want to put equals 4 divided by 2. Enter. And that gives us the answer, and there is the formula. But what we really want many times is we want to calculate numbers, and those numbers could change, right? They could change depending on what problem we're looking at. So let's put, we're going to put 2 and 2 here. And down here in F6, I want to add up what's in F3 and F4. So I'm going to go equals. And when I click on that with my mouse, you'll see the little, I call them the dancing ants around there. And it says equals F3 plus, and then I put my mouse and click into F4. And now it says equals F3 plus F4. And we hit enter. And now it's giving us the addition or the sum of these two numbers in F3 and F4. Now you'll notice up here in my formula bar, we still see the formula. Okay, so let's try this again with our other example, and we're going to put 4 here, and I'm going to put 2 here, and down here I'm going to put equals G3 divided by G4. And again, we're doing the same thing, only now what we have here is the formula we see is based upon the cells and not the actual number like we had over here in the D column. So what that means is now I can change these numbers anytime I want. So I can put 5 and 5, and I can put 10 and 10. And as I change those cells in F4 and F3 and 4, then my answer changes down below. And the same way with this. So I could put, let's put 987 divided by 14. And you'll see that it's giving us the answer 987 divided by 14 because that's what it's telling us in the formula. So that is the formula function. Okay, now we're going to look at a function as opposed to a formula. So a formula we see here, f3 plus f4, but I'm going to do this a little bit different, and I'm going to use a function. Now, the interesting thing about functions, and like a lot of things in Excel, there's multiple ways to do that, and I'm just going to use the most basic, and then we can look at some of the other ways as we go forward. But let's start with this. We're just going to say, first of all, what we want to do is we want to add up or sum F3 and F4. So I'm going to hit equals, and instead of just typing F3 plus F4, I'm going to say I want to sum it. I want the equal of the sum, and I'm starting to type SUM, and you'll see what happens is it gives you a whole bunch of different functions. These are all functions that's built into Excel, because that's really the power behind Excel, is it has many mathematical functions, which we'll see as we go forward. But it says here now it's going to add up all the numbers in a range of cells, and then you say, yes, that's exactly what I want. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit tab, and the tab puts a parenthesis. So I want to sum the numbers, and it's even telling me what it wants here. So I want to sum the numbers in the parentheses. So to get the numbers in the parentheses, now remember I just hit equals, sum, and tab, and now I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to click in F3, and you'll see it's put it down over there, and I'm going to just drag my mouse to F4 because we only have 2 here. Now I'm going to let up on my mouse, and it's kind of covering it here, this little thing, but it knows I don't have to put the following parenthesis. I can if I want, but I have lifted up on my mouse, so it knows when I hit enter that's what it's doing. So now let's go back and look. So up here in my formula bar, it says equals the sum of F3 colon F4. Now colon means from this one to that one, right? From F3 to F4. So if I had a whole bunch of numbers, and let me go ahead, I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to put a bunch of numbers over here. I'm just making them up as I go, and it could be a lot of numbers. So the beauty of this is I can hit equals, sum, tab, and then I can put my mouse and I can drag it for all of these numbers, which is, you can see up in the formula bar, it's kind of hidden where I'm at now, but you can see up in the formula bar, it says from B3 to B10. The colon means 2, from B2 to B10. And when I lift up, I'm going to hit enter. And now in this cell B11, we have the sum of B3 to B10. Okay, now that is a very valuable thing to have functions, and that's what Excel excels at. So anyway, I'll get a little bit more complicated as we move through some of the materials in the courses. Whether you're taking business statistics or accounting or finance, you'll find that this is very valuable. Now you can combine, now let me just do this one more thing. You can combine functions with formulas, because here's up here in D3 is number 4, and let's just use this F3, because we know that is the number 10, and that was just a formula. But let me show you what I could do here. If I wanted to add that 10, I'm going to use 10 because it's easy in our brain to calculate that, right? If I want the sum of B3 to B10 plus this one over here in F3, I can add that. I can add a formula to the function. So I'm going to go plus, and then I'm going to come over here and click F3 and enter. And so as you see, what now, this was 319, now it's 329. And to give you an example, the way that's working is, let me change this to 100, And you'll see that this went from 319 to 419 because I've combined a function and a formula. So you could do that as well. You could actually even put in plus 10. If this number never changes, you could put in this plus 10, this function plus 10 or plus 100, whatever. But by using it in this cell over here, then if this changes from 100 to 500, my answer over there in B11 over here, sometimes what I like to do. Now, there's many ways to format cells. That'll be for another video. But sometimes if I want to know that this is what's going on over here, I'm going to put something to tell me visually. And many times in accounting, you'll see you'll have the bottom double bar and the top single bar, right? Like that. So when I go off of that, you'll see that that is the sum. Now, it's deceptive because I've got this 500 in there, but if I was just going to take that out, we're just really doing something to tell it that this is the sum of these, and this is kind of the standard thing, the top bar single and the bottom bar double. Okay, so we'll do some more advanced functions and formulas in another video.